Good morning, Year 7s. Cool. Well, my lovelies, today's a special day. We are about to start the very last unit of Year 7. So we finished off everything to do with shapes, and this is it. So we're going to be almost at the summer holidays now, and our very last unit that we're going to do now is equations. Before we get started though, your flags were super duper good. I even had a few people, not very many people, but maybe in total about 3 or 4 people that actually worked out the whole magic pattern of the flags and got the correct number of flags, and they did all of that shading in and symmetry stuff, and yeah, I was really impressed. And everybody else, you did really good in getting the symmetry down and getting most of the flags drawn out, which is really cool. So fantastic work, Super 7s, and here we go. Let's rock on to our last unit. Cool. So equations, my lovelies, is an algebra unit. So we're going to be really just using the letters, and you've done that a lot this year. So basically you've grouped letters together. That's what you've been doing so far this year. So if I said to you, what's 3 A's plus 2 more A's, you'd be like, well, that's 5 A's. And if I said to you, what's 3 A's times 2 A's, you'd be like, 6a squared, because you're good at the timesing as well. So equations is a little bit different. We actually get to try to figure out what x is. Now, here's the thing. You'll already be good at this. Check it out. Now, without me teaching you a single thing, I'll bet you, just from me talking right now, I'll bet you many of you have already got A and B, and now C, and probably even D done in the time I've just been waffling on right now. So let's just see if you guys kind of get the basics behind it. Here's what it says. It says A plus 5 equals 20. Now, basically, when we use letters, I know we've not done it yet in year 7, but you may have done it a bit in primary school. When we use letters, it's usually in place of a number. So we don't actually know what A is equal to yet. So what we've done is we've just represented a number with this A. So essentially it's saying, what number plus 5 is 20? Well, you guys are all shouting out already, I imagine. It's 15, isn't it? Because 15 plus 5 makes 20. Now, this one here, the second one, it says 6 B's equal 42. Now, I just read that 6 B's, so it's a bit of a giveaway. It's 6 B's are 42. So 6 whats are 42. 6 of what number is 42? Well, if you said 7, you've got that as well. So whenever you get letters that are touching the numbers, as you remember, a letter touching a number means multiplication. It's 6 lots of B. So 6 lots of what makes 42? Well, 7. Bit trickier now, and see? It's like, what number take away 17 makes 13? Now that's funny. So you kind of got to work backwards. You're like, right, what number do I have to start with? Take away 17 from it. How would you work that out? Oh, I don't know. How would you work that out? Is it about, 17 plus 13? So it's going to be about, what's that going to be then? Is it going to be 30? That's right. So that's what we got there. And the final one, d over 4, actually means d divided by 4. You guys know that too. What number divided by 4 makes 12? Well, I think that number is going to be 48. Now, how do you know? How do you get that? Is there any shortcut way of doing this? It's a bit tricky to kind of get these. So there must be a shortcut. Anybody see it? What's a better way? Instead of trying to guess the number, there's an easier way of doing it. If you looked at the 20 and you looked at the 5, instead of doing plus 5 to the 20, we did, you take away. If you do the opposite of what's said, it gets the answer straight away. So instead of doing what number plus 5 is 20, you can go 20, take 5, and that brings you back to 15. This is times. The opposite of times, as you guys know, divide. So 42 divided by 6 is 7. That's a takeaway. So if you switch it over for a plus, 13 plus 17 is going to be 30. And the same deal here, d divided by 4. Well, let's do the opposite, the inverse operation. Well, instead of dividing by 4, let's times by 4. 12 times 4, 48. Not playing games, we're absolutely nailing it. So in other words, guys, even though you could have guessed all of these ones, when we get a little bit harder, like especially when we get to year 8 ones next year, it's going to be really important that you know how to get how to use inverse operations to do this. So there's an amazing shortcut to working these out. Has anyone spotted it? Well, yeah, you have. It's all inverse operations. You do the opposite of what it's telling you to do. So, as you guys know, opposite of plus, oh, what the heck, I'll jot it out for you. Opposite of plus take away. So opposite of add is subtract. Opposite of subtract then, add. Opposite of times, well, it's going to be divide, but usually we do it as a fraction, so usually it's like that as well in a fraction. And the opposite of division is multiplication. Bish, bash, bosh, and that allows us to do the brand new unit, which is my important thing. So that was just a warm-up. The actual thing I'm going to teach you today is called the balance method. Now, here's what you're going to have to do. Maybe you should do these ones in your book too. First question, it just says a plus 5 equals 20. Now, I know, you're already like, oh, it's 15. We've already done that question. And you are right, it is just 15. But here's what you're going to do. Put it in your book to begin with, okay? So write down a plus 5 equals 20. When they get hard, you're going to have to use this cool balance method, and I'll show you how it works. Here's what you do. I want the letter to be all by itself. So A needs to be alone on the left-hand side. The trouble is, there's been a plus 5 next to it. So what's the opposite of plus 5? Well, the opposite of plus 5 is take 5. So you put a little take 5 there. Now to balance it out, you have to do the same to the other side to keep it fair, to make it so that the same is done to both sides. You put a little minus 5 there. Now, this is why this is called the balance method, buddies. You've done the same thing to both sides. It's kind of like a scale. If you do something on the left, you have to do the same on the right. And so we saw plus 5, so we did a take away 5 on each side. So now here's what you're left with. On the left-hand side, you're just left with the A then. Because A plus 5 and then take away 5 straight away, it just means that the 5s go. And on this side, 20 take away 5, well, that's 15. So you've done it in one step. Now here's why you actually do it, guys. Because when you get to questions like B, I bet some of you know. I bet you, what do you think the answer is there? Can you guess what letter it is? 3 lots of something take away 8 equals 10. Can you think what the number would be? What do you reckon? About 6? Yeah? Well, that's it. Well, probably. You see, you can guess them, but it's just tricky. Watch how much better this is. Here's what you do. Step 1 is you say to yourself, I want the letters to be all by themselves on one side. Now, our letter here is there. It's the, Our letter here is just there, and it is, it is the B. Oh, there, I'm working again. Okay, and it's the B. It's just there. But the trouble is, it's with its mate, the 3, so they kind of go together. They're kind of like a unit. They belong together because they're touching. They, love each other. They're touching. Now, here's the thing. You've got your 3B there, but you have the take away 8. So who doesn't belong on this side? Well, the take away 8 doesn't. So what you do is you're going to go plus 8 to both sides. So step 1 is we kept the 3 and we kept the B together because they were touching, and we got rid of the thing that doesn't belong, which is the minus 8. Opposite of minus 8, plus 8. Do it to both sides. What are you left with on the left-hand side now then? Well, just the 3B, because it was protected in that box. Minus 8 plus 8 goes to 0. On this side, what do you get? Well, 10 plus 8 is 18. And that's what we end up with here. 3B equals 18. Final step then. 3 lots of what makes 18? 3 times what to make 18? Well, 6. And that is your final answer. B equals 6. Now, I did skip the inverse operation part there just because not everybody loves doing the division properly. But if you wanted to show the next step, here's what you do. Divide both sides by 3. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Because times 3 and divide by 3 cancel out. And you're just left with B is 18 divided by 3. And that means B is 6. Getting it, guys? Let's see. Couple more. Okay. If you'd like, if you're feeling confident, push pause and go ahead and get these guys done. If you're not feeling confident, stay with me and I'll talk you through them. So here we go. Next one. So we have 2C plus 1 equals 15. Here you go. First step. The thing that we want is the C, which is there. Now it's with its mate, the 2, so we'll protect them. The plus 1 is here, and it doesn't belong on that side because it's not in the box. It's not something that I'm trying to protect. So what's the opposite of plus 1? Well, take away 1 to get rid of it. So you'll do the same to both sides. What's left on the left-hand side now? What's left over here? Well, you've got your 2 and your C in the box, and then you have plus 1 and take away 1. Well, plus 1 and take away 1, they cancel each other out, leaving you only just with the 2C. So you're left with 2C on this side. On the other side, it's just 15 take away 1, which is 14. 2C is 14. Now I like to skip this step. 2 lots of what makes 14? Well, the answer is 7. But if you didn't want to skip that step, check this out. Here we go. Start off by dividing both sides by 2 because the c is attached to the 2 by multiplication. So we'll divide 2, cancel, cancel, and you'll just be left with c equals 14 divided by 2, which is 7. And that is our answer. Cool? If you're feeling good, skip ahead. I'm going to start going through these a little bit faster. Here we go. So hopefully you're still with me. We want d this time. It's touching its mate, the 3. So we'll keep them safe. The minus 6 doesn't belong. What's the opposite of minus 6? Well, plus 6. Plus 6 plus 6. What's left on the second line? Well, our 3d is protected in the box, so we still have it. Minus 6 and plus 6, they cancel each other out. That's why we've done that. So there's nothing left on this side. On this side is 9 plus 6, which is 15. 3 lots of what to make 15? Well, 5. So D is 5. Cool, cool, cool. If you're good, skip ahead. Go, 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 go. So you don't need to listen to me. Make sure that you just check the answers in a sec. Okay, if you still want one more time, here we go. Even faster still. We were after D again in this one. 5D plus 15 equals 40. Now, if you would, step 1, what are we going to do as our first step again? Well, I'm after the D. It's, it's here. It's, come on now, computer there. Okay, here we, there it is. Okay, so there it is. There's the D there. It's with its mate, the 5, but there's a plus 15. So we'll start, we're going take 15, leaving you just on this side with 5D. And on this side, 40, take away 15, which is 25. 5 lots of what to make 25? Well, 5, and that is your answer. Boom. And the final one, don't worry about it. Don't worry really too much about this one. But what's happened is it's written the wrong way round. Can you see that the number is written on this left-hand side and the algebra stuff's on the right-hand side? No worries. Just keep it going in the usual way. So where's the F? Well, it's here with its mate, the 6. The minus 6 shouldn't be there. So plus 6 plus 6. 18 plus 6 is 24. And on this side, you just still have your 6F. It doesn't matter that it's on the right. Here's what you do next. Well, you're going to do 24 divided by 6. You're going to say 6 times what makes 24? Well, the answer is 4, and you just write down F equals 4. If you wrote 4 equals F, that is cool as well, my lovelies. Usually, mathematicians will write down this one as their final answer, the F equals 4. But in case you didn't quite get that right, or in case you didn't quite write it that way, it's cool in year 7. You'll soon get into the pattern, my lovelies, that you'll be writing it like the mathematicians do all of the time. But if you wrote 4 equals F, that's not wrong. That means exactly the same thing, so that's cool as well. Cool, cool, guys? Get it, get it, get it? Sweet. Here's what I'm going to get you guys to do. Your activity is actually kind of like a crossword puzzle, but it's like a cross number, I guess. Now, I have to give a really important step here, my lovelies. I'm not happy for you to just tell me the final answer, okay? So I know that'll be a lot of your instinct to do that, but I don't really want you just to tell me the final answer. What I would like you to do is I would like you to try to actually work them out, okay? So using the balance method. Now, some of them are a little bit tricky, but I do think you're going to get it. So let's just have a little look and make sure that you are getting it. So here's what I want you to do. See one across? I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to squeeze it in up here. I'm going to encourage you to do that too. But if you'd rather use your book, because you're a really neat worker, one of those really conscientious, lovely, neat workers, you don't have to squeeze it around the outside. You can squeeze it in your book. Step 1, write the question. 4x plus 18 equals 6. Excuse me. Step 2, lovelies, is do the balance method. There's the x right there. There's a 4 touching it. So they're together. We're going to keep them together. There's a plus 18. Get rid of it. Minus 18, minus 18. And oh no, I've got a tricky one now. What are you left with on this side? Well, just the 4x. What are you left with on this side? It's 6 take away 18, which is actually going to be negative 12. So we got a negative there. Good heavens above. Don't worry about it, though. That's no problem. Now, here's your question. 4 times what number makes negative 12? Or alternatively, divide both sides by 4. And here we go. X equals negative 12 divided by positive 4. The signs are different, so it's negative. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. The answer to question 1, guys, is negative 3. Cool? And that's that done. let's do 2 together as well, just to make sure we definitely are on the same page. So here's 2. Let's do question 2. So that's this guy here. Let's do him up here. And it is 5x plus 1 equals 20. Now, this is a tricky one because I think we're getting a decimal number here as well. Good heavens above, this sheet is harder than I thought it was. That's all right, though. You guys are good at decimals and you're good at negatives, so no problem. 5x plus 1 equals 20. Well, here's what we'll do. Take away 1, take away 1. You're going to be left with 5x because we protected the 5x, don't forget. So it's 5x equals 19. And now because we're after decimal numbers, you can either do it as a mixed number, but because I don't really want you to focus too much on the fractions, I just want you to get it done kind of quickly, go ahead and use your calculator. It's 19 divided by 5, which is going to be 3.8, which is cool. So it's going to be 3.8. So the answer then to here, to the green one that we just did, or the blue one we just did, of 3.8, 3.8. Cool. You had to use your calculator though on that one, so I hope that that's okay. And let's do final one together. I'll do just because I can't stop. I love them. Okay, final one together. Let's do question 5 as well here on this side, just so we can really get the pattern down. So here's question 5. It's 2x plus 1 equals 18. And just keep that pattern going, my lovelies. Well, the x is what I want. It's here with this mate, the 2, protect it. There's a plus 1, so take away 1 from both sides. You're left with then 2x equals, and 18 take away 1 is 17. And now you're welcome to try to divide it out. So 17 divided by 2, I think you can do that. But don't worry, lovelies, if you'd like to just use a calculator to get this guy done quickly, because the real goal is that first step that I'm really hoping to see, is this. You can just divide it out, okay? 17 divided by 2 equals 8.5. And that's what you got as your final answer, because we did that extra step of divided by 2, and that means our final answer was 8.5. Cool, cool, cool. 8.5. So there's the point, and there's the 5. Cool. So what I'd like you to do is finish all of the rest of those. So I've done 3 of them, so I think there's 12 left for you to try. And the biggest, most important thing to me, one more final time, is I'd like to see this middle step, okay? I really want to see that you're not just figuring them out because you're really clever, but you're also figuring them out using the new skill, using the balance method skill, because really soon you're going to get questions that are so hard that you can't even solve them with a calculator. And with those questions, you've got to be really ace at the balance method. So that's what I'd like you to try today. I hope it goes well, and I guess that's it for me for now. So see you later, buddies. Bye, lovelies!